as I mentioned, you've got an incredible approach to really developing brand strategy. And it is one of those areas that all too often people push aside. They feel that all they need is awareness or all they need is demand gen, and they start right there. They're
Yeah.
not starting up at the top of the need for that strategy. Explain give a quick overview of your process, and then we're going to deep dive into each of the areas.
Yeah. I think it's really, I mean, I'll do a shout out to the Marketing by Millennial podcast because they have, or no, I'm sorry, it's a newsletter. They have a visual and it really says a lot of times product starts down here at the mountain and it's the shape of a mountain and marketing starts over here and it's all about tactics and it's not about the strategy. So that's when I reference get on the top of the mountain. I would shout out to Marketing Millennial for highlighting that. But it all starts with positioning, and positioning at its core focuses on answering two fundamental questions: who you are as a company and why does your customer matter? So that is really core to that. I add into that, which is somewhat new thinking around positioning DNA. So
Love.
positioning DNA is that to identify how your company is focused. So are you a company focused on product? Are you a company focused on the customer? Are you a company focused on a concept? All of those, that's the positioning DNA that kind of makes this going from good to great. And when identifying your positioning DNA is somewhat of a new concept, and you need to avoid sending your product or service in a competitive segment that is not in agreement with your company's strategy. So to your point of your business strategy, and really it really will thwart success for your company. So basically both positioning and positioning DNA are the rational statements that inform branding that is more emotive expression. So everyone kind of thinks about, branding being this soft touch and this, almost like a qualitative, emotive discussion and expression through logo, colors, tone of voice, messaging, customer experience, and more. It is that, but higher up, you have to define your positioning DNA, and that, which are all rational statements. And then you can move into brand, which might be a little more emotive and more qualitative.
One thing that I probably heard, it is got to be 25 years ago, is that we position for share of market and we
Yes.
brand per share of heart.
Yeah.
And that to me there's this intersection between the two. And I agree with you. All too often, people get positioning wrong,
Yeah.
get completely wrong. And they're taking a look at it as look and feel and tone and voice and, all these essence components,
Yep.
which really is not what's needed to get into a market that is ownable, that you can differentiate within, and that really the competition isn't touching too well.
Absolutely. And brand is not a logo. That just
Yeah.
drives me crazy, right? And I mean, and think about how informed you are and how that information will affect how effective you are in your tactics in regards to search optimization or AI utilization, emotive expression experience, all of that heart-based conversation, and talk about galvanizing your employees. That's what's really at the essence of this. So start rational,
Mhm.
start very business oriented, and check the boxes on those, and that feeds into the more the ability to speak to the heart because you've already done the the essence of it all.